What if I told you that everything you fear losing can never be taken away? That this invisible bond, this force that holds your life together, is stronger than anything you imagine. Today, you will discover why your fears have never had the power to break what Allah has united. Stay tuned, because what you are about to understand could transform your heart, your confidence, and the way you view every challenge in your life. You know that feeling, the one that grips your heart when you think about your life and everything seems so fragile, as if the world could collapse around you at any moment. That moment when you observe your efforts, your relationships, your dreams, and suddenly, everything seems so vulnerable. You think everything could disappear. Your plans, your hopes, even your deepest certainties. And that emptiness that settles inside, that fear of losing control, of falling, of losing yourself in the storm of events you can't control. But let me ask you a question you may never have truly heard. What if all of this is just an illusion? What if the fragility you feel is just a test of your limited human gaze, incapable of perceiving the invisible solidity that sustains your life? Because there is a reality we too often forget. What is united and sustained by Allah? Nothing, absolutely nothing can break it. Not a person, not a loss, not a betrayal, not a trial. Even the most violent storms of your life cannot reach what He has chosen to protect. Feel this truth for a moment. Close your eyes. Imagine each fear you carry in your heart like a stone you hold in your hand. The fear of failure, the fear of losing those you love, the fear that your life will collapse. All these stones seem heavy, unbearable. But now, imagine that Allah is there, invisible, supporting each stone, holding them all together with a force no one can touch. You see, what seems fragile to you is actually unshakable. Why then does your heart still tremble? Why does panic take up so much space? You know that these moments of anguish are not signs of weakness, but subtle reminders. They tell you that you have forgotten the one who sustains your existence. They remind you that you have confused your limited vision with the reality of divine protection. And when you feel alone, when you think no one understands your struggles, remember, the one who holds your destiny knows every beat of your heart. Every silent prayer, every tear shed in the privacy of your room, every hope you carry within you, all of this is seen, all of this is heard, and all of this is sustained by an invisible power, yet stronger than the entire universe. Perhaps you have already felt this truth at one point, without even knowing what it was. A spark of peace in the midst of a storm. A breath that calms your spirit when everything else screams. It was no accident. It was He speaking to you, reassuring you, reminding you that what you have built with sincerity and faith cannot be destroyed by human hands. And what you must deeply understand today is that this strength is not conditioned by your strength, nor by your intelligence, nor even by your constant efforts to control your life. It is conditioned by Him. Your inner peace, your stability, do not depend on external circumstances, but on the awareness that what is sustained by Allah can never be broken. So feel this strength. Feel it in every fiber of your being. Feel it in the moments when you feel insignificant in the face of trials, when you feel like you can't go on. Because this feeling, this anguish, is exactly the point at which Allah wants you to turn to Him, to realize that everything you fear is already under His protection. Imagine your heart like a crystal, fragile in the eyes of others, but strengthened by an invisible light that shines through it and protects it from within. No one can extinguish it. No one can break it. Even pain, even loss, even loneliness, all of it becomes bearable, because you now know that the true pillar of your life is eternal and unshakable. And as you begin to feel this peace, as your mind begins to understand this invisible reality, one question remains. If what you have sincerely built cannot be destroyed, then what does this fear that still gnaws at you really mean? And it is at this precise moment, this moment when silence falls and your heart truly listens, that you are ready to discover what this divine protection entails for every decision, every trial, every relationship in your life. Imagine a boat, fragile to those who look at it, drifting in the middle of a vast and raging ocean. The waves hit with a force that seems to want to engulf it. The wind howls like a warning and the sky darkens, threatening every moment to wipe out everything on board. Every creak of the wood, every movement of the water makes you feel that everything could break, that you could be swept away forever. Around you, the others are screaming, panicking. Some are struggling against the current. Others are wailing, believing all is lost. You hear their voices, their cries, their accusations against fate, against the world, against life itself. All of this could make you give in to fear, if your gaze didn't look further than the choppy surface of the ocean. And yet, deep within you, a silent certainty persists. An invisible light, a force that no one else seems to perceive. You feel something holding you back, something stronger than the waves, more powerful than the wind, more solid than the panic around you. This boat, though small and vulnerable, cannot be destroyed. It is anchored by a power your eyes cannot see, but your soul recognizes. It is Allah. Feel this moment. Feel it deeply. The boat rocks, but it holds. The waves batter it, but they fail to sink it. The wind roars, but it cannot push it off course. All around you is chaos. And yet, a strange peace fills you, because you know that this chaos is no stronger than the one who holds your existence. And in this inner silence, you begin to realize something. Everything others consider imminent danger, a breaking point, is actually only a test of faith. The storm was never there to destroy you. She was there to show you that what is united by Allah cannot be broken. That even when everything seems to be crumbling, your heart can remain stable, your soul can remain intact, and your path can remain safe. Look around you again. People are screaming. Some are clinging to the boat, others are falling into the water. They lack the certainty you now possess. They see the storm and forget the invisible presence that sustains everything. You feel it. You know that every wave that seems to want to overwhelm you is already under control, that every breath of wind that threatens to unbalance you is already ordained by the one who holds your destiny. And as you observe this reality, your mind begins to understand the profound principle that many ignore. It is not the boat itself that is solid. It is not your body, nor your human courage, nor your intellect, nor even your natural resilience that protects you. Solidity comes from the one who anchored the boat. The boat doesn't float because you're holding it, but because Allah has placed it in a safe harbor that no one can see or reach. Perhaps you remember those moments in your life when you thought all was lost. Situations where you felt you were sinking, that you would never get back up. Times when you asked yourself, why me? Why now? And yet, you're still here. Every trial, every shock, every pain has passed through you, but you haven't been broken. Like that boat in the ocean, you have been sustained by an invisible force. A force that knows no bounds or weakness. A force that can never be overcome by the storms of this world. And what you must understand is this. The ocean around you represents life. The waves represent the difficulties, the losses, the betrayals, The moments when you doubt yourself and your path. The wind howls like the voices of fear and worry. But the harbor, the stability, the security you feel within you is Allah. It's not something you can touch, but it's something you can feel in your soul. So whenever you feel life overwhelming you, whenever you think everything might collapse, remember this boat. Remember that what is sustained by Allah is stronger than the most violent storm. Remember that even when you are alone, even when no one understands, even when the world seems to turn its back on you, there is an invisible presence that will never let you sink. And in that very moment, as you focus on that certainty, you begin to feel something even deeper. A peace that does not come from the world, that does not come from what you see or touch, but that emanates from an infinite and eternal source. From a presence that knows all your pain, all your prayers, all your past mistakes, and that continues to anchor you in the safe harbor of its protection. There are people who try to extinguish you, who wanted to steal your smile, snatch your joy, crush your dreams under the weight of their own fear. Perhaps they laughed at your ambitions. Perhaps they whispered words meant to break you, to make you doubt yourself. Perhaps you even heard those words in your own mind, like an echo of their judgments, their criticisms, their limitations. And yet, look at yourself. Really look at yourself. Here, now. Despite every attempt, every hurt, every tear you've silently shed, you're still here. You're still breathing. Your heart is still beating. Your hands, your eyes, your soul, all of it is still alive. Look at that invisible force that has carried you this far. Isn't it strange, sometimes almost miraculous, that you continue to move forward when so many obstacles seem to want to stop you? And now listen to this truth that you must hear deeply, even if your heart trembles upon receiving it. The power of those who try to destroy you is but an illusion. Their anger, their criticism, their betrayals, these are only reflections of a world that believes itself capable of controlling what it cannot. They believe they hold your destiny in their hands, but it is not true. Never. Your story was never written by them. It was never shaped by their judgments or their desires. Every trial, every fall, every pain, all of it was placed in your path by the one who knows your soul better than you know yourself. The one who traced your steps before you were even born. Feel it now. Feel the fragility of these human attempts, and contrast it with the immensity of divine protection. Every person who tried to stop you, every whisper of doubt, every judgmental look, it was like a grain of sand against the mountain of what Allah had built in your heart. They thought they could break you, but they only touched an illusion. They could never reach the very essence of your being, the light you carry, that part of you sealed and protected by the one who never makes a mistake. And you know what? That part of you, that light, knows neither fear nor failure. It never goes out. It cannot be stolen, nor even tainted. It was that light that kept you going through the darkest nights. It was that light that whispered to you when you were alone and thought all was lost. Don't be afraid. I am here. Perhaps you remember those precise moments, the moments when you thought you could go on no longer, the moments when the world seemed to be ganging up on you, when every step forward felt like a step into the void. And yet, despite everything, you move forward, slowly, painfully, sometimes falteringly. But you moved forward. And every step, even the one you thought insignificant, was sustained by an invisible force, a force that neither hatred, nor jealousy, nor human betrayal could ever reach. There is a lesson in this, a truth that too few see. The pain you endured was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal what is truly solid within you. To show you that, Even when everything seems to be crumbling, there is a hand that never trembles, a guidance that never weakens, a power that never errs. And this truth is so powerful that it can change your outlook on everything you experience. Those who try to destroy you, their actions are no longer threats. They become revelations. They become signs that what is truly yours, or what has been sealed for you, is protected by a divine order that no one can challenge. So let these thoughts sink into your heart, gently, without rushing. Feel the fragility of human hands, the weight of judgments, the emptiness of their promises. And in contrast, feel the solidity of the divine presence, invisible but indestructible, which holds every part of your being, every dream, every breath, every hope. You may have long walked in the shadows of fear and doubt, but look now. Look at the light that persists in your heart. Look at the strength that has kept you alive. Look at the truth. You are still here. And what you are, what you carry, what you are destined to accomplish, no one can break it. And as you begin to feel this inner power, a question slowly but insistently arises. If everything you have been through has never been able to destroy you, then what does Allah want to reveal to you through the trials that remain, through the storms you have not yet seen? You're afraid. You're afraid of losing what you love. Maybe it's people. Maybe it's dreams. Maybe it's moments you thought were solid and now seem to be slipping through your fingers. What if I told you that this fear isn't there by chance? That every tremor in your heart, every sleepless night, every doubt, every question that crosses your mind is actually a call. A call to understand a truth that your soul already knows, but that your human mind too often forgets. What if I told you something few dare to whisper aloud? What you truly love can never be taken from you. Never. Even if circumstances seem impossible, even if human hands try to tear that bond, even if the whole world seems to conspire against you, what was meant for you, what was united by Allah for you, remains. Do you feel that? Breathe deeply. Feel that truth, because it's an invisible but unshakable principle. What Allah unites, no one can separate. No one. Not words, nor actions, nor hatred, nor misunderstandings. Not distance, nor time, nor death. So ask yourself this question. Why are you still trembling? Why does your heart contract when someone threatens your world, when someone challenges your choices, when someone seems to want to break your bonds? Do you forget that the Creator holds the invisible strings of your existence? That every breath you take, every step you take, every decision you believe you made alone has been watched over, directed, and protected by the One who knows your heart better than you know yourself? Are you afraid of losing a love, a friendship, a trust? What if I told you that true connection doesn't depend on what eyes see, what hands touch, or what voices whisper? That the real bond, the one that nourishes your soul, the one that touches your heart in silence, is a bond that Allah has sealed. And sealed means nothing and no one can break it. Repeat it in your mind. Nothing. Not a betrayal, not a cruel word, not an absence, not an injustice, not a storm, nothing. And yet, how many times have you trembled before what you thought you could lose? Do you still feel that fear? Breathe. Look deeply. Fear exists, yes, but only because you look at reality with human eyes, with a limited heart, with a mind that too easily forgets the presence of the One who holds all of life. And as you begin to hear this truth, let me ask you some more questions. Do you fear that your hopes will be shattered? That your dreams will be stolen? That your destiny will be manipulated by someone who believes they can decide for you? If the answer is yes, then look closer. Who really holds your destiny? Who traced your path before you were even born? Who knows every beat of your heart, every silent prayer, every secret wish you dare not share with anyone? It is He. And what comes from Him, what is sealed by Him, what is protected by Him, can never be destroyed by others. Are you afraid for your relationships, for your plans, for your dearest bonds? What if I told you that the fear you feel is merely a mirror of your wavering faith? That it only exists because you look to the human world and forget the divine world? Because in the human world, everything can break. In the human world, people lie, betray, abandon each other. But in the divine world, what Allah unites, no one ever can separate it. So ask yourself this essential question. Why tremble before human hands, when the one who holds your breath, your heart, and your destiny has never failed? Why let the shadows of a limited world obscure the light of infinite protection? Look around you. Feel your heart. Listen to that silence. That silence that says, I am here. Nothing can break you. Nothing can undo what I have united. And now imagine. Imagine what that means for every fear you have carried for years. Imagine every doubt, every worry, every fear of losing what you love. All of it confronted with a truth you cannot change, cannot deny, cannot overcome. Allah's power over your existence is absolute. Every bond you believe is fragile, every hope you think is threatened, every friendship, every love, every silent prayer, everything is in His hands. And those hands never tremble, those hands never err, those hands never weaken. Think of your life as an ancient, massive door, sealed by a light that never fades. Not a light your eyes can measure or touch, but a light that emanates from the very essence of existence, from the source that knows every beat of your heart. This door is before you, invisible to others, but evident to your soul. It seems fragile to those who see only wood and metal, but it is forged with a strength the world cannot comprehend. Some people have tried to open it with rusty keys. They have knocked, turned, pulled. They have used every means they know: criticism, judgment, fear, manipulation. Some have even tried to break down the door with violence, with the insistence of their desires or selfish ambitions. They thought nothing could resist their will, that everything behind that door must belong to them. And yet, nothing has given way, because this door was never shaped by human hands. It was never built by those who believe they have the power to decide your life. It was never a construction of your limited efforts, nor the gaze of others. It was forged by Allah Himself, sealed in a light that cannot be broken, a metal that cannot be bent, an essence that no one can touch. And look carefully. Do you see the cracks in the doors of the world, all those structures that men believe to be solid? They crumble. They break under time, under lies, under forgetfulness, and under betrayal. But your door is different. It defies time. It defies death. It defies the whispers of those who believe they can destroy it. Pain may knock against it. Loneliness may attempt to attack it. Oblivion may brush against it. But nothing enters. Nothing pierces its light. Nothing cracks it. Now imagine that you are standing before this door. You touch its surface and feel the warmth of its protection. You sense that every blow the world strikes against it is absorbed by a force you cannot see, but that your soul immediately recognizes. The door speaks to you silently, in the language of your heart. Everything behind me is sealed. Nothing and no one can break me. Not even time, not even pain, not even the storms of life. And in that silence, you begin to understand another truth. The door is not there to separate you from the world, nor to limit you. It is there to protect you, to guard what is meant for you. Everything you have sincerely built, everything you carry in your heart, hope, love, and faith, all of this is behind that door. And this protection is invisible to human eyes, but tangible to your soul. Now see the others around you. Some knock, others shout, others try to persuade you to give them a share of what is behind the door. They think their pressure, their will, or their patience will open it. But you know that the only key that has power is in the hands of Allah. And this key is never lost, never forgotten, never confiscated. It is perfectly in place, guiding every opening, every moment, every experience you live. And as you touch this door, feel a vibration in your heart, a gentle yet powerful vibration. It is the presence of the one who forged the door, a presence that silently says, "What I have sealed is safe. Human hands cannot take it. Time cannot crack it. Pain cannot erase it. Every trial you go through is a reminder of my protection, my light and my plan. Now, let your mind travel. Imagine that this door is not only in front of you, but all around you. Every connection, every relationship, every dream, every piece of your heart is behind its light. Every breath you take, every silent hope, every whispered prayer, every sincere love, everything is protected. Nothing can approach it. Nothing can touch it. Nothing can alter it. And in that moment, feel the tranquility that fills you. Feel the security you've never felt before. Feel that no matter the storms, no matter the blows, no matter the losses or betrayals, there is a protection that never fails. A protection that doesn't depend on you, your control, or your human efforts. A protection that is perfect, infinite, and eternal. And as you stand there, before that door, touching its light, you begin to hear a silent question forming in your heart. If this door is impregnable, then what have all the attacks, all the fears, all the losses you've experienced been trying to show you about the nature of what you truly carry? So listen carefully. Every time you feel your heart tremble, every time fear grips you, remember this. What you see as fragile, what you believe the world could break, is already sealed by a force no one can touch. Your marriage, your destiny, your heart, your life. What Allah has joined together, no one ever can separate. Not a human hand, not a cruel word, not an unexpected event. Nothing. Imagine for a moment that everything you've ever feared losing, everything you've tried to protect with your own strength, is actually already under the watchful eye of an invisible, invincible, eternal protection. A protection that never wavers, that never weakens, and that cannot be shaken by any of the dramas or storms that life throws your way. You believed you were vulnerable, that you walked alone on dangerous paths, that your dreams could be destroyed. But it was a lie whispered to you by the world. The truth, the only truth, is that you have always been supported, even when you couldn't see it. Every breath you take, every prayer you whisper in the privacy of your room, every silent tear, every secret hope, all of it has never fallen into the void. Everything has been enveloped, protected, placed in a light that no one can extinguish. And that light, it is within you. It flows through your soul, transforming every pain into strength, every loss into revelation. Perhaps you remember the times when you thought it was all over. The trials that broke your heart, the betrayals that made you doubt others, the loneliness that made you wonder if anyone really saw what you were going through. And yet, look at yourself now. You are still here. Every time you faltered, every time you thought you couldn't continue, you moved forward. Because what Allah has united can never be destroyed. Because what is sustained by Him surpasses all human logic. Because you are always carried, even when you think you're falling. So open your heart to this truth. Feel it pulse through every fiber of your being. You have never been vulnerable. Never. Even in the darkest storm, even when the world seemed to want to extinguish you, you were already enveloped in a protection that never wavers. You were already anchored in a light that nothing and no one can shatter. And now, let me ask you a question that may change everything you thought you knew about yourself. If you've never been vulnerable, if you've always been protected, why continue to be afraid? Why tremble at what others say, what others do, what the world imposes? Every fear is but an illusion compared to the truth you carry within you. A truth you can feel. A truth that resonates in your heart when you take a moment to be silent and listen. This truth whispers to you, all that I have united, no one can break. Even the most terrible trials are under my control. Even what you think is lost is already safe. You see, it's only when you stop struggling in the winds of worry, when you stop fighting what you cannot control, that you discover this revelation. You have never been alone. You have never been exposed. You have never been vulnerable. Even when you fall, even when you doubt, even when you cry in silence, you are carried by an invisible promise, but one that is stronger than anything the world can offer. And this promise isn't limited to your material destiny or your human relationships. It extends to your heart, to your soul, to everything that makes you who you are. Every sincere desire, every authentic love, every dream you've long held. All of it is sealed in this divine light, preserved against every storm, against every judgment, against every loss. Imagine for a moment the weight you've been carrying for years. All those nights of doubt. All those moments when you thought everything might collapse. And now feel that weight gently dissolve. Feel it slide from your shoulders because it was never yours to bear alone. This weight belongs to human life, but you are protected by the one who holds the universe. The one who never makes a mistake. The one who never weakens. The one who never lets you down. So whenever you feel your heart grow anxious, whenever fear tries to regain control, remember this light. Remember this invisible promise. Remember that what you believe to be fragile is actually indestructible. Remember that you have never been vulnerable. You have always been protected. So now, look around you. Breathe deeply and feel this truth. What you have is protected. What you are is supported. And what you experience is never beyond the control of the one who holds all. If this video touched you, share it with someone who needs it, and most importantly, subscribe to continue discovering these soul-lifting, faith-strengthening messages.